Have you ever wondered why your erection becomes weaker with age, yet a single well-timed action can make it start responding again almost immediately? As a medical doctor, I want you to understand something most older men never hear. Your erection did not die. It simply stopped receiving the right neurological and vascular signals that used to fire automatically when you were younger. This simple action you're about to learn works because it activates a natural reflex deeply rooted in your body's design. It stimulates pelvic nerves, encourages the release of nitric oxide, and coordinates the timing between blood flow and smooth muscle relaxation inside the penis. In older men, this coordination becomes weak, not because the body is incapable, but because the pathway has been inactive for too long. Your erection depends on three things: rapid pelvic circulation, flexible arteries, and responsive erectile muscle. When one slows down, the others follow, creating the slow, inconsistent erections most men experience after 60. But when you trigger the right physical stimulus at the right moment, these systems wake up again, often far faster than expected. The beauty of this method is its simplicity. It does not force your body to perform, it reminds your body how to perform. And because it works through natural neural pathways, older men often respond better than younger ones, simply because the body is craving the signal. Before we continue, take a moment to check whether you are subscribed to the channel. If this explanation is already helping you understand your body in a new way, leave a like and comment the word renew so I know you are following every step with full attention. As a specialist, I hear older men blame age for their weak erection, but medically that is not accurate. Your erection does not decline simply because you turn 60, 70, or 80. It declines because several internal systems slowly lose coordination, and no one ever teaches men how to reactivate them. The first breakdown occurs in the endothelial lining, the inner surface of your blood vessels, responsible for releasing nitric oxide. When you were young, this lining opened your arteries instantly, creating the surge of blood pressure needed for a firm erection. But decades of inflammation, sitting, stress, poor sleep, and reduced oxygen stiffen the lining. A stiff endothelium cannot release nitric oxide on time, and when nitric oxide fails, your erection weakens. The second decline happens inside the smooth muscle of the erectile chambers. This muscle must fully relax for the penis to fill and trap blood. However, in older men, the muscle becomes partially contracted all the time due to low circulation, pelvic tension, and micro damage. A muscle that cannot relax cannot expand, meaning you lose firmness and pressure. The third breakdown involves pelvic microcirculation. These are tiny arteries that supply the deepest parts of the erection mechanism. As men age, these vessels stiffen and narrow, not enough to cause pain but enough to slow the speed of blood entering the penis. And erections require a fast rush of blood, not a slow flow. Without that speed, the erection forms weakly or not at all. Another silent factor is nerve desynchronization. The nerves that carry erection signals from the pelvis to the brain still work, but they fire more slowly. This delay breaks the coordination between desire, circulation, and muscle response, creating the slow start many older men report. Finally, one of the most overlooked problems is pelvic floor tension. Years of sitting, prostate changes, digestive pressure, and stress can cause these muscles to tighten. A tense pelvic floor blocks blood flow, restricts expansion, and prevents the penis from building pressure. Here is the truth older men never hear. None of these declines represent permanent damage. They are functional slowdowns, which means they can be reactivated. And this is exactly why the simple action you're about to learn is so powerful. It stimulates the nerves, opens the arteries, relaxes the muscle, and restarts the erection pathway that has been dormant, not destroyed. Now that you understand why erections weaken with age, let me explain the simple action behind this method, what I call the right touch at the right time. As a medical specialist, I can tell you that this is not about pressure, force, or sexual stimulation. It is about triggering a neural reflex that most older men have forgotten their body still possesses. This right touch consists of a gentle, directional pressure applied to a specific area of the lower abdomen, just above the pubic region, combined with controlled breathing. This region contains a cluster of nerves that directly influence pelvic blood flow and the relaxation of smooth muscle inside the penis. When stimulated correctly, these nerves activate a natural reflex that encourages the arteries to widen and the erectile chambers to open. In younger years, this reflex fired effortlessly, but with age, poor circulation, inflammation, and nerve desynchronization cause it to weaken, leaving the erection slow, inconsistent, or unresponsive. The key is not the strength of the touch, but the timing and the direction. The touch must be applied when your body is in a state that supports blood flow, typically during a deep exhale. This synchronizes two critical mechanisms: pelvic, nerve activation, nitric oxide release. The combination sends a fast message to the penile arteries, open now. At the same time, the gentle pressure momentarily shifts internal abdominal tension, helping release the pelvic floor, a common source of blockage in older men. When the pelvic floor relaxes, blood can finally enter the penis more freely, allowing the chambers to expand. This is why the right touch works so quickly. It taps into a built-in system your body already has, a system that has been dormant, not damaged. It is simple, it is natural. And for older men, it is often the missing signal their body has been waiting for. To make the right touch truly effective, it must be performed with precision. Not strength, not speed, precision. As a medical specialist, I will guide you step by step so your body receives the exact physiological cues needed to restart the erectile pathway that has been dormant for years. Step 1. Stand with a stable, open posture. Your feet should be shoulder width apart, knees relaxed, chest open and shoulders down. This prevents compression of the pelvic arteries and allows your diaphragm to move freely, critical for nitric oxide release. Step 2. Place your fingertips gently, 2 inches above the pubic bone. This area contains a network of pelvic nerves responsible for triggering vascular dilation in the penis. Use your fingertips, not the palm. The goal is precision, not force. Step 3. Inhale deeply through the nose. Let your lower abdomen expand as the diaphragm drops. This prepares the pelvic region by increasing oxygen flow and softening deep tissues. Step 4. As you exhale, apply a gentle, downward and slightly inward pressure. The pressure should be firm enough to be felt, but never painful. The direction matters. Downward stimulates the pelvic floor to relax, and inward activates the nerves that influence blood flow into the erectile chambers. This combination, deep exhale plus directional pressure, is what reawakens the reflex. Step 5. Hold the pressure for 2 seconds, then release slowly. Do not snap your hand away. The slow release helps maintain the vascular opening created during the stimulus. Step 6. Repeat the sequence 3 to 4 times. This repetition reinforces the neural signal and encourages consistent artery dilation. Step 7. Stay standing for at least 30 seconds afterward. Do not sit down immediately. Sitting compresses the same vessels you just opened. Remaining upright allows blood to move freely through the pelvic region and into the erectile chambers. This entire process takes less than 1 minute, but has a powerful physiological effect. It synchronizes breath, muscle release, pelvic nerve activation, and arterial dilation, the 4 ingredients needed for a strong erection. When done correctly, older men often feel warmth, fullness, or subtle pressure within minutes. This is not luck. It is biology responding exactly the way it is designed to. When older men begin using this method correctly, their body often responds sooner than they expect. As a medical specialist, I want you to recognize the early sensations that confirm the action is reawakening your erectile pathway. These signals are biological, not psychological, and they indicate that the internal systems required for a strong erection are turning back on. The first sign many men notice is a warm or spreading sensation across the lower abdomen or pelvic area. This warmth occurs because the arteries supplying the penis are beginning to widen again. For years, these vessels may have remained stiff and narrow. Feeling warmth means blood flow is increasing, a critical step toward firmness. Another early sign is a sense of weight or fullness in the penis, even without stimulation. This happens when the smooth muscle inside the erectile chambers finally begins to relax, allowing blood to enter more easily. Many older men describe this as a heaviness or a return of pressure they had not felt in years. A third sign is the reappearance of morning firmness, sometimes gentle, sometimes unexpectedly strong. Morning erections are one of the most accurate reflections of vascular health. When they start returning, it means the endothelial lining is releasing nitric oxide more effectively. You may also observe a faster response time when you are stimulated. Where your erection once took longer to appear, it now begins forming more quickly as the pelvic nerves regain sensitivity and the arteries open with less resistance. Some men report a subtle but noticeable pulsing or throbbing sensation in the pelvic region. This indicates increased circulation speed and improved arterial elasticity, both essential for building strong erection pressure. Finally, many older men experience an increase in sexual readiness, not because of psychological desire alone, but because the body physically feels more capable. Your erection mechanism is reconnecting with the nervous system. These changes confirm that your body still knows how to respond. It simply needed the correct signal to reactivate the pathway. As a medical specialist, I must warn you, even if you perform the right touch perfectly, certain habits can silently shut down the very mechanisms you are trying to reactivate. Most older men do not realize that these mistakes directly interfere with nitric oxide release, pelvic circulation, nerve timing, and smooth muscle relaxation, the four foundations of a strong erection. The most damaging mistake is using caffeine too early, especially on an empty stomach. Coffee triggers an immediate cortisol spike, which causes your blood vessels to tighten. This completely contradicts what the technique is trying to achieve. While the method encourages dilation of the pelvic arteries, caffeine forces them to constrict, cancelling the effect before it even begins. For men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, this single habit can make the action seem ineffective when the real issue is morning cortisol. Another destructive habit is eating sugar soon after performing the action. Pastries, sweetened coffee, fruit juice, cereal, and processed breads inflame the endothelial lining, the tissue responsible for producing nitric oxide. When inflamed, the lining becomes stiff and unresponsive. A stiff endothelium cannot deliver the signal to open the arteries, no matter how well you perform the method. A third major mistake is sitting immediately afterward. Sitting compresses the pelvic floor and the very vessels responsible for carrying blood to the penis. Even if your touch successfully opened the arteries, sitting reduces flow, tightens surrounding muscles, and blocks pressure from building inside the erectile chambers. Another silent disruptor is holding tension in the abdomen or chest. Older men often tighten these areas unconsciously, especially during stress. This tension restricts the diaphragm, reduces oxygen flow, and increases intrapelvic pressure, making it harder for blood to move downward into the erectile tissue. Chronic pelvic floor tightness is another problem that undoes progress in seconds. When these muscles tense up again right after performing the technique, the opening effect on the arteries disappears. A relaxed pelvic floor is essential for erections. A tight one is a physical barrier. Finally, starting the day dehydrated reduces blood volume and limits the speed at which nitric oxide can travel. Thicker blood moves more slowly, and slow blood means weak erection response. These mistakes do not simply interfere, they completely block the biological chain required for a firm, fast erection. Avoiding them is as important as performing the action correctly. To unlock the full power of the right touch, you must pair it with two simple habits that reinforce the physiological response. As a medical specialist, I use this exact combination with older patients because it enhances circulation, strengthens nitric oxide signaling, and helps the erectile chambers respond more quickly and consistently. Habit 1. Drink a full glass of water within minutes of performing the action. Hydration is not optional. It increases plasma volume, thins the blood slightly, and improves the movement of nitric oxide through your vessels. Most men over 60 begin their day dehydrated, which reduces oxygen delivery and slows erection response. Hydration transforms the reflex from a mild effect into a strong one. Habit 2. Stay upright and lightly active for 1 to 2 minutes. Do not sit down. Walking slowly, shifting your hips, or stretching for a short time keeps the pelvic arteries open and prevents compression of the vessels you just activated. This allows the reflex to become fully established inside the erectile chambers. Sitting too soon cancels the progress by tightening the muscles around the pelvis. Habit 3. Choose a breakfast that protects your endothelial lining. Avoid sugar in the first hours of the day. Instead, choose clean protein, healthy fats, and low-inflammation foods. A stable endothelial lining releases nitric oxide more effectively and keeps your arteries flexible, which is essential for strong erections at any age. These 3 habits work together to amplify the effect of the right touch, creating a stable internal environment where erections can form faster, last longer, and respond more consistently. This is not about forcing the body. It is about restoring the natural mechanisms that were always there, mechanisms your body can still use even at 80. If you stayed with me until the end of this video, it means you are truly committed to understanding your body and restoring your natural erection in a safe and effective way. Before you leave, take a moment to check whether you are already subscribed to the channel. That is the only way you will not miss the next videos, where I continue guiding you step by step. If you watched all the way through, comment the word responding so I know you are part of the group that follows every detail with full attention. And do not forget to like this video. Your support helps this medical information reach more men who need clear, science-based guidance for their sexual health. Now go ahead and watch the next video that is appearing on your screen. It continues exactly from where this one stops and gives you the next steps to improve your erection even further.